I'm Michelle with 2 L's.
And I'm Natalie the Red.
And we are Force of Light Entertainment. And today we are back for our review of what was my most anticipated movie of 2025. James Gunn's Superman Legacy. Yes, we saw it last night. I got my popcorn bucket.
That's really cute.
I love my popcorn bucket that I got. But what did we think about this movie?
We're going to get into it.
We are. Let's see. Before we get started, if you've not yet subscribed, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Also give the video a thumbs up. The way we do our reviews around here, we will give you our initial thoughts, what we like, what we dislike, and rate the movie. I will say this will be spoiler free. If we do decide to talk a little spoiler, we'll save it for the very end and we will give you notice for you to get, out.
Yes.
So no spoilers. You're free to be here.
We got you.
Okay. So Superman Legacy, again, my most anticipated movie. What were my thoughts after the movie finished? Initial thoughts. I had fun. It was a fun ride, and I had a smile on my face at the end. That's initial thoughts, Natalie.
I'll just keep it at, I think it was a good time.
Yes.
That would be my initial thoughts.
Okay. And then I also want to say, I'm just going to say right at the top, this movie, there's going to be a lot of people, I think, who like it. I believe this is a great family film, and I believe kids are going to love this film. I do. I also think this is a good date night film.
Yes.
You gentlemen, it's a good time to take your lady to the movies because it does bring romance back into films, which I'm happy about. But with that being said, if you are a diehard Snyderverse, want a super serious, brooding Superman, you are not. And I enjoyed the Snyder films, but am open to other interpretations of this character. But if you are not, you're not going to like this film. End of story. It is as polar opposite from Snyder as I think a film can get. It really is. And with that, I will say I've been watching more Superman stuff. This I recently fell in love with the 90s TV show Dean Cain Show and Terry Hatcher, Lois and Clark. This is much more in kind of that vein, campy, lighthearted. Also, I hear it's more like the cartoon. And I will say this movie plays like a Saturday morning cartoon, but in live action.
I would agree with that.
It's, it's very much that way. Okay, so let me get it. So if you don't like this film and it's not going to be for everybody. That's what I'm trying to get at. And if it's not for you, it's not for you. You know what I'm saying? It's a movie. But let me get into the things that I liked about this film. Because there's definitely I liked about this film. I also will say this is the only film of 2025 thus far that as soon as it was over, I knew I'm going to pay to see this a second time because one, I enjoyed myself, and secondly, it's that second watch where I really begin to know how I truly feel about something.
Yeah.
So
take in more details.
Yes. Okay. So what I liked about this film, the cast is great. David Cornsweet, I believe he is Superman. I believe he embodies Superman. He has that twinkle in his eye, that charm that Superman should have, that kind of dorkiness that Clark Kent has. He embodies all of that. I knew I'd love her, Rachel Brosnahan. If I said her last name wrong, I apologize. I loved her casting immediately as Lois Lane. Loved her as Lois Lane. Could have used more of her. That would be a critique. Could have used a little more. Nicholas Hoult, Lex Luthor, fantastic. Nathan Fillion, Green Lantern, loved him. Pretty much the whole cast here. We could just keep going down. The guy who played Jimmy Olsen. Everyone did a great job. Natalie, who stood out to you? I loved Mr. Terrific.
Yes.
Natalie, anyone that stood out to you or anything you want to add to the cast? Because I think they had what works for this movie, even in some of the story elements that maybe don't. The cast has great chemistry.
Yeah, that's the thing based off of, the trailer and everything and who we knew the castings were. I expected it to be them to do a good job. Because it is a good cast, but like you said, standouts, I would have to say I really enjoyed Mr. Terrific.
He was great.
I thought he was terrific.
He was terrific. And I will say this, he has a scene with Lois Lane.
It's one of the best in the movie.
It's one of the best in the movie. It was so James Gunn, but so comic book and just so much fun.
and like cool
And
and fun.
cool,
all at
it
the
was.
Same time.
And you got to kind of see it through Lois Lane's perspective of what is going on. And I will say too, this movie, that's kind of what I'm trying to get at when I was saying earlier, it leans heavy into the fantastical element of comic book movies. This is a world where crazy stuff happens all the time in Metropolis, you know? It really is. And they lean into that aspect, and it is fun. It is. Again, Nathan Fillion is Green Lantern. I think he had some of the best comedic moments.
That last joke at the end, without saying anything, but it kind of it works really. You know what I'm talking about?
It did.
Like, all right,
It did. There's some great comedic stuff with Jimmy Olsen. I love Jimmy Olsen in this.
He would be another standout for me.
Yes. Really enjoyed that. And again, we've already Lex Luthor. He is evil. He may or may not kill someone brutally. Yeah, I shouldn't say brutally, but I mean, kind of. But with that being said,
Let's just say it kind of surprised me.
it surprised you, but I still believe kids will enjoy this movie.
Yes.
It's still kid friendly, even with that. But he's very bad. He hates
He's a
Superman.
bad boy.
And-
that Lex.
And Nicholas Holt's a great actor. Natalie, you said when he shed a tear at the end, you felt for this evil
I know.
man.
I felt for him, but it's because he has such beautiful eyes. I couldn't stand to see him with tears in them. What can I say?
Yes.
He got me.
So he was good. Okay, so let's get into another thing I like. In modern movies, it has felt like romance is dead. Hollywood shies away from even the kiss at the end of a movie anymore. This movie is bringing romance back.
Yes.
And let's just say the first scene between Lois Lane and Clark Kent, hot.
Very.
It was hot. And
Their physical chemistry, or like it was very good.
that's what I'm saying.
It seems so natural.
It does. That's why I'm saying I could have used even more. But when I say it's hot, again, it's friendly enough for kids. It's nothing.
Yes,
it's nothing like
doesn't
that.
push it too far.
No, it's just kissing.
It's just kissing done well.
It's kissing done right.
Executed right.
It was executed very right. So I love the romance elements. Again, could have used more Lois Lane because Rachel is a fantastic actress, and she really, some of the moments between her and Clark, I feel have slash Superman, I feel have some of the most heart.
They carry the most maybe emotional weight that among it.
Yes.
Yeah.
The scenes with her and then the scenes with the Kents carry the most emotional weight
Definitely
in this movie. And though there's a lot of silly, fantastical stuff all throughout this film, I mean, it's very James Gunn.
And I think you're either going to like that or not like that.
Yes, definitely. I will say there is heart in this film. And I expected that coming out of, like, say, the Guardians of the Galaxy films.
Which I do like.
I do too. There is a lot of heart in this film. There's in particular, I guess I won't say it here because I promise no spoilers. There's a conversation it's the second time you really see them get to have a moment alone between Lois and, well, Superman / Clark Kent. He's in a Superman suit at that point. But like, it truly put a smile on my face because it was so his answer to something she says. It was so Clark Kent. And I mean by that, something that makes this character so, I think, unique is like his inherent goodness. And that's what you see. Because this movie begins with, and I will say this will be something people may not like. This movie, it just starts. It gives you a few crawls to catch you up to know where we are in this universe. And then boom, the movie takes off almost at a jarring pace in the beginning. But then I was just along for the ride, and you kind of know where they're going in this movie. So I think the beginning might throw people a little bit.
I was going to say, without giving away too much, if you're looking for kind of the more traditional opening, shall we say, that's not this. It's a very different format.
Yeah, because and in all fairness, like, it's kind of like we have seen that story told how many times now, and I feel like the crawl that he kind of gives us, I was good.
Catches you up if you didn't kind of already know the story of Superman.
Yes. So I enjoyed that. We are in this, what I was getting to with this movie, this is kind of Superman. He's been on the world for 3 years. I mean, as Superman, as, actually Superman. He has kind of suffered his first somewhat defeat, and pretty much this movie, like, so much is thrown at this character, and it's kind of like, will it affect his goodness?
Right.
And
will
I think,
it jade him?
will it jade him? Will it affect his goodness? And that's going back to the conversation that I love with Lois Lane. Clark Kent, he is the good guy. I think that's what I like about this character. Guys, they like to say the good guys finish last.
I was going to say they don't always.
They don't
Look
always.
at Superman.
They don't always. Clark Kent Superman, shows that is not, in fact, true. Let's see. Another thing about this film that some are going to like, kids are going to love, some will not, is Krypto, the dog.
Yes.
He worked for me. I liked the ongoing joke, and it is ongoing, that he's not a well-behaved dog. And I thought it worked for me personally. Natalie, what did you think?
Yeah, I enjoyed Krypto. I thought he was fun. And like you said, in particular, being that we all do have to remember this movie, like you're saying, it does, I think it is meant to appeal to kids.
Yes,
like
very much.
They are very much part of the target audience. So I think that kids in particular will probably really like Krypto.
Yes.
I thought he was really cute, and he definitely comes in handy at times. Let's say that.
Yes, he's. Let's just say he's. I can already hear Mel Brooks. He's there for the merchandise. He's gonna sell lots of merchandise in this film. So I liked Krypto. Okay, let's see. I also will say that this movie, I've really just not been into comic book movies because they all feel like this bland, generic formula. This movie does not. This movie feels it, and even with Superman himself, it feels like something totally new, like something we've never seen, but yet familiar all at the same time.
Agree with that.
So I think it's kind of a refreshing thing to a genre that has felt a little bland for me personally, at least.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go into that's what things we liked, things that maybe we did not like as much. Again, I think the story could have been better. Definitely, this is by far from a perfect film. It is a fun film. So there definitely, again, I could have used a little more Lois Lane. We barely get any Perry White. Like, we get very little at the Daily Planet, and I could have used a little more Daily Planet. We technically get very little Clark Kent. I could have used a little more Clark Kent.
Yeah. It's like there were and not to get into, if I would say a negative, it's like maybe, I think they were trying, or maybe
so much
James Gunn was trying to establish so many things in the one movie that it was a little hard to flesh everything out, or maybe nix a couple things, and focus more on the other stuff would be my critique.
Yes, there is one scene that might I'll just say this because this is not a spoiler. It might involve a prison that Lex Luthor has that I've almost debated in my mind. Could I have found a way to X that whole thing? And then spend more time with Lois Lane, the Daily Planet, Clark Kent. And that very well possibly is the case. It doesn't ruin the movie for me. My mind's just nitpicking and thinking of how I would do it.
Right.
Type of thing. So again, this story is not perfect by a long shot. It is fun. I'm trying to think any other issues that kind of stand out to you.
Well, and again, I think we've touched on this before, but just I do wish there was a little more Lois.
Yes.
Because, and two, it like you said before, it is such a big part of Superman is the relationship and that romance and kind of how they, he can trust her and depend on her. So, well, once they get things going, but I'm just saying, so I could have used a little more of that.
Yes. At another critique I'd have, I feel like this movie at the end needed that. I don't know if it fully got there. There's so much all within this movie. The problem with that is then how do you make that crescendo moment where you're like, oh, it's Superman, So I think maybe that could be a critique, though. There is a moment where it was like, yeah, that's Superman at the end that I did enjoy. Those would kind of be my critiques. Could have used a little more of the Daily Planet. Could have maybe even used a little more Kents. I don't know. The Kents were used. It was fine. So yeah, that's kind of my critiques. How would I rate this film? Okay. Again, we rate on a scale of 5. 5 hoots being the max level of enjoyment.
Yes.
Enjoyment.
We're an enjoyment-based rating system.
Yes.
Just in case anybody didn't know.
I plan on seeing this movie again. And by the way, guys, we're going to do a full spoilers on our Monday, or our live show this coming Monday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Hope to see you there. We'll get into spoilers, give everyone the weekend to be able to go see it.
I'm excited. Yeah. Have a good talk.
We will. But I want to see this film again because my rating may stay the same, may go up, may go down.
I might go see it again with you so I can have a better grasp.
So Natalie, what right now would you rate this? 5 being the max level of hoots, max level of enjoyment?
Right now, I'm going to sit it at a solid 4. And like you said, upon reinspection, that might go down a half a point. It might go up a half a point.
Yeah.
We'll see. But 4 is pretty solid, I think.
4 is very solid. I was sitting between a 4 and a 4.5, and I'm going to go 4.5 right now. My entertainment point system might go up or down again, depending on how I feel.
There's a scale sometimes.
Yes. Well, sometimes you don't truly know until you've had a repeat viewing of something.
It's very true.
But I enjoyed myself. It put a smile on my face multiple times. Again, there are some nitpicky things and things I could critique a little more, but it actually would go into spoilers. And I think we'll just save that for Monday.
Yeah.
So come back Monday, 6:30 p.m., go see the movie and watch it. I do feel this is a movie, guys, that you need to see for yourself because there's going to be a lot of strong opinions.
A lot of voices, yeah.
And there's no real right or wrong opinion. It is a movie.
It's subjective.
It's subjective. Again, if you're looking for dark and brooding and serious, this movie is not for you. If you enjoy more the Superman, the animated series.
Colorful.
Yes. Hopeful. The Lois and Clark show. I think you
kindness.
Yes, I think you will enjoy. I also want to say this movie is not remotely political, so scrap that.
It's not. Yeah, just get the word woke out here because it's not.
It's not. It's not at all. It just
get out of here with that.
Yeah, it's not. So yeah. So 4 and 4.5 right now. We'll see if it changes. Had a lot of fun with this film. Again, definitely not a perfect film. So please.
No, we're not claiming that.
Please do not think that's what I'm saying. I'm saying I had fun watching it. I do enjoy James Gunn films a lot of the times.
I agree.
I will say again, I'm going to keep saying this. Great family film. Take your kids. They'll want a crypto by the end of it. That type of thing. And then also I think again, because of the romance element, I think more women will probably appreciate this film.
Yeah, I think so too.
But could have still used more Lois.
Yeah, that's again one of our bigger critiques, I would say.
But that is our thoughts on Superman Legacy. Again, we're going to be going into much greater detail this coming Monday on Force of Light Live.
Don't miss it.
Yes, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Hope to see you there. But anyways, guys, what did you think of the film? Please be gracious in the comments. If you hate it, that's fine. Just be kind.
We want to know your opinion.
Yes, share your thoughts below. Are you going to see it? Are you excited or you're not seeing it? Share your thoughts below. And if you have not yet, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Also give this video a thumbs up. And as always, ladies and gentlemen, remember to be a force of light. All right, bye guys. Bye.